Well, hello, everybody. We have anybody watching this evening? I didn't decide till the last minute that I was going to go live. So,
Never skip
oh
one.
goodness, y'all to know I forgot to turn my volume down on my laptop. There's Tanya. Hello, Tanya. How are you doing this evening? I was hoping I'd catch a few people home that were not doing anything. Try to adjust this a little bit. Well, I don't know. I'm not getting it where I want it to be. I guess that's about as good as I'm going to get it. I'm great, Tanya. I've been messing in the yard today doing stuff. It's a little chilly out there. And then I came in and put my new vacuum cleaner together and tried that. And then I put my new carpet shampooer together and shampooed my room rugs that I've got. I really don't have carpet because I took all my carpet up because of my allergies. But I still do have a little bit in both bathrooms. There's carpet. And then I've got the room size rug in the living room. So I tried my carpet shampooer out on that. It works fantastic. I love it. I mean, I've got one, but it leaks. It's old, and the little rubber washer thing at the bottom of the tank wore out, and it doesn't stop the water from coming out the bottom. So it makes a puddle in the floor every time I try to use it. And it's bigger. It's bigger than this one. This one's a smaller, more compact one that I can do better with in here because I don't have much room. This house is really small. The vacuum cleaner, I don't know because all the weight is up at the top. I love it for the convenience of it. And someone that does not have a back or neck injury, it would be awesome. I mean, it is an awesome vacuum cleaner. But I started having pains going down the right side of my neck, down my rib cage, and down my hip the whole time I used it. And it took a long time after I put it up. And it's not completely gone yet from using it. And I think it was just the weight of holding it, just that little bit of strain on my shoulders and my neck muscles that did it. It doesn't take much. So I don't know. I told my son I love the vacuum cleaner. It's really great, but with my neck, I don't know if I should keep it. I probably should exchange it for something else. Now the shampooer, all the weight is at the bottom, so I can deal with that a little bit better. So we'll see. I told him I'd wait a few days. I'll try using it again and see what happens. And if the same thing happens, then I know I don't need to be using it. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, I have a lot of allergies too, but my windows don't really seal very well. And on the windy days, a lot of that pollen and dust comes in the house. I mean, I've got them sealed as good as I can get them sealed, and they're a lot better than they were. But on a real bad windy day, even on a good sealed up house, if you have a lot of dust and pollen in your area when the wind blows, it's going to find its way in your house regardless. So, but anyway, but I said a bare floor is so much easier to keep clean and keep dust free than a carpet is. I mean, even after you shampoo a carpet, there's still dirt and pollen and dust in that carpet. I don't think you can ever get every bit of it out. unless it's a brand new carpet. And then you probably have a lot of fibers from the manufacturer, the plant where it was made. You got a lot of stuff in it from there that can bother you. But anyway, life's, what? So we live on. We have a house built in the late 1800s, and we have a lot of dust also. Yeah, it's a lot of dust here. I like being able to sweep my floor, get up all the stuff, and then I take a wet mop, just a damp mop, and wipe over the floor. Whether it needs it or not, I wipe it over, and that gets even more dust or lint, off the floor. So, yeah, but the only place I've got carpet now is my 2 bathrooms, and I've got the room size rug in the living room. That's as much carpet as I want. I don't need any more than that. And I'll probably eventually redo the floor in the bathrooms and get rid of that carpet. We'll see. I kind of like it in there, for stepping out of the bathtub and being barefoot and all that, especially in the wintertime, to have the carpet to step out on. But we'll see. That's not something I've got to decide right now. But it's chilly out here. I've been drinking my hot chocolate. You might think this is coffee, but it's not. It's hot chocolate with marshmallows in it. Yeah, rugs. Rugs are so much easier to clean and keep clean, keep dust free basically. Because a lot of them you can throw in the washing machine. And the ones that you can't put in the washing machine, I take out on my patio, and I'll scrub them out there with the garden hose and soap and clean them, and then hang them up over my gas tank or the clothesline and let them dry. And they're a lot cleaner really doing that than they are if you do it with even a shampooer. But the way we've been restricted on, you couldn't use the outside water hose, not even to water my plants. You couldn't run water on your sidewalk or your patio to wash a chair off. We've been restricted against doing that. So I haven't been able to take my little rugs out and clean them like I always did before. So I spent the day, most of it, with that shampooer cleaning these little rugs and the room size rug in the living room and the carpet in the bathrooms. Well, it looks like we got 4 watching and nobody's hit the thumbs up. Y'all need to remember when you come in to the chat to hit thumbs up. I know since a certain person badmouthed me on his channel and tried to run me in the ground, a lot of my viewers have went over and started watching their channels and some other people's channels, and they don't come back to my channel anymore. So I guess they believe all that mess, which is a bunch of lies, because I never did anything to hurt those people. I was not ever trying to promote my channel in theirs. But yet they didn't mind putting their videos on my Facebook page and getting views and getting subscribers from there. And I let them up until, they got on their channel and started bad mouthing me. Then I blocked every one of them. I said, that can work both ways. They don't want me to advertise on their channel, which I didn't do. I said, they're not going to get views and subscribers on my Facebook page or my YouTube channel either. They're over at the other ones watching them. Since I've been bad mouthed by a certain family on YouTube, a lot of my viewers have stopped coming to my channel, my lives. I guess they believe all the bull. Yeah, some people will never know what they're doing. And if they blindly believe it all, then they don't need to be in my channel anyway. But they needed somebody to use as their fall guy to create a bunch of drama to get their own views and their subscribers. And they picked me this time. You know, every so often they pick somebody and they badmouth them and just down them and try to destroy them on YouTube. And this time they picked me. And I never did anything to them to deserve it. I know they badmouth everybody, and I don't like to mention names, but you know, I mean, somebody needs to put a stop to it. I probably won't be the one that'll be able to do it, but it's bad when you got to build your own channel by hurting other people, by hurting other people's channels. And, you know, evidently that's the only way they think they can get subscribers or views. They can't come up with other ways to get subscribers or views, so they got to create all the drama. Yep, that's what mine's going to be, a drama-free channel. And I don't even like to mention it now, but, you know, since you were asking where everybody's at, I know that's where everybody's gone. They're watching all the other channels of the ones that like the drama. Oh, that chocolate is good. It's like I got 8 watching and I only got 1 thumbs up. I can't see the camera up there to see what that one says, so I can only see the monitor down here. You're welcome. I do my best to try to. And there is Maria Burgess. Hello, Maria. It's not all bad. That's how I found your channel. Well, I'm glad you found us, Maria. Yeah, my views have been down and my income have been down through December, which I expected it to be, you know, just because it was December. But I've got to do a lot more videos, a lot more lives, and get everything built back up to have my money coming in. I got to have some income from YouTube to help pay my bills. So I decided to go live more often. I just don't know when it'll be. It'll be like tonight. It'll be at the spur of the moment. You might get an hour's notice. You'll get noticed somehow, though, or a little bit of notification. Did y'all enjoy your Christmas and your New Year's? Yeah, I know, Tanya. But like I said, they've got to come up with something. And they're realizing, you know, that people like me, that when they catch on that, like, I'm the one that was being badmouthed and they're using my name, they're leaving themselves open to lawsuits because you can't get on a public media like YouTube that broadcasts worldwide and start bad mouthing someone and using their name to degrade them and bust their channel up and tell a bunch of lies on them. I mean, you can't do that. Some people ignore it, let it go. Other people will bring a lawsuit against them when other people would just turn them into YouTube. So, and I have been contacted by quite a few women that have already been treated the same way by the certain family. And one lady contacted me and she said, I feel bad for you. I know what you're going through. She said, they did me the same way and they totally ruined my channel. They tried to ruin my life, my reputation. And she was a government employee. I mean, they don't care. They just think they can get on a channel and talk crap about people and they can get away with it, but they can't. It just depends on the person they're talking about. I mean, I know better. I know if they push me too far, they might end up with a lawsuit on them. And this other person that has contacted me that they did that way has seriously thought about lawsuits against them for defamation of character. I mean, you hear about lawsuits all the time where people sue other people for degrading them, public humiliation, that type of thing, and you can do it. So they need to be careful about what they say and who they say and what names they throw out there. Because, they may come across a few people in the future that are not going to be as nice as I am and not as nice as the people before me that they've hurt. And they're going to end up in a big lawsuit that they're not going to like. And it's liable to shut all their channels down. I mean, you can make money on YouTube. You can get big on YouTube. You don't have to do it by hurting other people. And if that's the only way that you can make any content for your videos is by hurting other people, by bringing them down as a character, you don't need a YouTube channel. J. Marystone, hello. Well, I'm glad you stopped by. I really got on here to talk about my granny squares. I love working with this yarn and crocheting, and I've made several bedspreads out of these squares, crocheting them. And I wanted to get on here and show you a little about how I do it. I don't have any small ones from the first color, but I start out with one little square, with one color, and then each border piece I change and I do with another color. And I try to keep each row on every square the same color for that number of rows. And then when I get like to this one where I've got the brown around the outside, that's when I start doing my background color. In this case, it's the aqua. Now, the bedspread that's on my bed, my background color is this burgundy. And I can still, I can border these squares with the aqua, and then I can put my background color on here again in a different color. And it'll make when I get it finished, it'll look like these squares are in a whole background of either burgundy or aqua or whatever background color you choose. The last color you put on your squares is going to be your background color. But you have to remember that each square you do has to be in that same color. So when you put them together, all of the squares are bordered with aqua, and it looks like your whole background for your quilt or your spread is in aqua. And I love doing it. I really do. I have run out of some of the colors, and that's one reason I stopped. And then, too, it bothers my allergies real bad. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, they completely just destroyed her channel. And I told her, I said, well, you got other people they've done it to. You got other witnesses that can testify against them. Sue them. I would. I mean, if they keep on with me, they're going to get a lawsuit on their hands. Because they're not going to destroy my name, my reputation, and my channel just to get their views on theirs. I promise you they're not. And I don't care if they get drunk, they can get drugged up, they can do whatever they want. But if I catch it and I hear it going on their channel where they're bad-mouthing me again, or some of my other people that have been watching these channels get back to me and tell me about it, And they've been doing screenshots and sending them to me. Or the minute they hear something, they'll message me and say, "Hey, you need to get on this channel right now and listen. They're up to it again." If I hear it, they'll get reported again. And if it happens too many more times, they're going to get a lawsuit. And I'll have enough people behind me to testify against them that they've done it to them too. So if they want to risk having their whole channel shut down for most of their family, they better think of twice before they keep throwing my name out there. I promise you, when I have not done anything to this family. And I think part of their big super chatters that give super chats in their live chats that are backing them are part of the problem. They help them create all this drama, and they stand behind them in this drama, because I fell into that trap and I won again. And yeah, they're probably listening to me. They listen to my channel to make sure I'm not bad mouthing them or I'm not saying anything about them. But I never would have mentioned it if they hadn't done me the way they did me. And I'm still not mentioning names. But yeah, I started my square, and I've got to the point where I can add my aqua to it. So all I do is tie on my next color. I leave a string and I tie on my next color. And then I proceed to let's see. Don't know which way I want to go with it. Then you got to start going through here and adding this next color that you've got. Oh, just talking about it has just got me a little riled up. I wish that I not even have said anything to it. It's just regular yarn that you get in on the bolt. I mean, just regular crochet and yarn. I don't even think this comes in sizes. It's the regular size. It's not real thick and it's not real tiny. And I don't have one in the wrapper, or I would show you. But Walmart has it, and Walmart has there's more of this on the shelf than there is any of it. But I don't remember what size it is. I know they have bigger and they have smaller, but this is like the medium. And then I do a double crochet. Sometimes I do a triple crochet to do my corners. And one reason I stopped too is not only my allergies, because you wouldn't think this yarn would have enough lint or fuzz on it to cause you a problem. But if you sit here and crochet very much, just pulling the yarn through your fingers and working with it causes you to breathe the lint from the yarn. And after a while, it starts really bothering my sinuses, breathing it. And it'll start irritating my eyes because the little fuzz will get in my eyes too. I told my mom one time before she passed away, I said, I'm going to have to get a face mask that'll cover my eyes and everything just to be able to crochet. Yeah, I do too. I crocheted one for my granddaughter years ago, and I used basically these colors, and I did the whole background in yellow because one of her favorite colors was yellow. So I put the big squares in it, and then I did the last color in yellow. So it had the whole background was yellow with the squares set in. On mine, it's the burgundy. So you can, do your background in any color. But I thought I'd get on here and show you. And I never could crochet. I'm left-handed mostly, and I hold the needle in my left hand. My mom always held hers in the right hand. So it was hard for her to show me how to do this stuff because she was always doing it backwards from me. I thought about buying one of those crochet rings. They got rings that you put on your fingers that, like this finger right here, that holds the yarn for you, and it holds the tension on it. So you don't have to worry about holding the tension on it with your fingers. But at one time when I didn't have anything else to do and I was home from work, especially when I was going through that cancer scare, I did a lot of crochet, and I crocheted scarves and hats and spreads and all kinds of things, and fought allergies the whole time. But see, I've already started putting the aqua color on the outside. And you can do each square a solid color. You don't have to do like I do. I just liked it like this because it reminded me of a stained glass pattern to do multicolors. And I just picked out colors that I like to see. And it is bright, but when you put it on a bed and you have the complete bedspread there, it just brightens up the room so much. You can put, if you've got the background in turquoise, you can have turquoise curtains in your room, or you can have any color that's in the bedspread in the room on your windows. Mine in my bedroom has burgundy for the background of my bedspread, but I've got turquoise curtains in my bedroom. But I've got a lot of turquoise in the bedspread too, in the square itself. So, the colors are wide open when you do a bedspread like this. You're not set to one color. And I have a tendency to start getting my thread too loose, and I have to watch myself. And with my arthritis in this hand, it doesn't help either. But just while I'm running my mouth talking, I've done one side of this. Tanya says her daughter has some of the rings. That is why I struggle with it. I'm left-handed too. Yeah, so my mom would show me how to do some of it, but I would have to flip it around and do it just the opposite from what she was doing, because she was doing it with her right hand and I was doing it left-handed. So it was just like you had to flip it over, And she kind of gave up on it after a while. And then I started just trying to come up with my own patterns from what little bit I did know about crocheting. I started coming up with my own patterns, and that's how I started doing my bedspreads this way. I said, I always seen so many people make the throws to go on their couch or a throw to go on the bed. They make hats, they make scarves, they make shawls, but I had never really seen anybody put a whole complete bedspread together. And the year I made one for my son, he had a king size bed. Honey, it took me forever to get that thing made, but I actually made a spread out of yarn like this for his king size bed. My bed is a queen size, and I made one for it. It's on there now. The one I made my granddaughter was for a full size bed. And my two little beds, I made one for one of the beds, and it's a twin size. So it's a lot of work. But you know, you feel like you've accomplished something when you get it finished too. Tanya says she loves the aqua color. I'm left-handed also. That's why I struggle with it. My daughter has some of the greatest purchases. Yeah, I've never made the purses out of them, but I do make ladies' handbags. But I put wood bottoms and I do the top in canvas or other materials, but I've never done one in the yarn. I did a woven bag that's on Poshmark for sale. But this is one of the simplest patterns. Because if anybody knows how to do a granny square, you already know how to do it. Like I said, I just started making a granny square, and I did each layer in a different color. You know, I did the center one color, and then the next I made the burgundy, then the green, then the yellow, and now then the brown, and now the turquoise. Because one thing I ran into the problem of was I started one time, and I was going to make it solid color, just one solid color. Well, I couldn't buy all of the yarn at one time, the right color. And I said, I really wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. But when I ran out of yarn and I went back in the store to buy more, I couldn't get that color. They had similar colors, but I think every color that they had was like a shade off. So when you started putting that color on with what you already had, you could see the difference in the color. So I said, well, that's not going to work. Unless you know up front how many of these you need to begin with to make a whole bedspread, and you're able to buy all of that one color at one time, there's no way you can match the color. So I gave up, and I said, well, I'm going to do it this way. I said, that way it don't matter so much about matching the colors. I can find enough to border the outside to make the back border in any color I want to find. So that was the reason on doing this. But, you know, like I said, you don't have to do it this way. You can make the inside square, this whole square, just one solid color, and then border it with a different color. There's so many different options of making a granny square bedspread. I mean, you can see that. And see, that inside square could have been a solid color, a different color. And then you could have put the turquoise on the outside. It didn't necessarily have to be all different colors. That's the great thing about making something yourself. You're in control of the colors and your pattern. You don't have to go with something that's real complicated. Something real easy can make a beautiful bedspread. Do you sell all of your purses? Well, I've got a lot of them on Poshmark for sale. Some of them are canvas. Some of them are made out of material. Some of them were blue jean material, I think. I've got one that is a woven bag. There's no telling who these other people are. There might be the ones that I was talking about earlier, the ones that are listening and watching. You know what I mean? But I always have silent viewers. I always have viewers that don't never get into chat, and that's okay. I mean, I love to have any of them watching my videos. You should be able to go under my name and find them. Or go into handmade bags, put my name in. You should be able to get them. I know, Tanya, you don't always chat. I wish I had the link. Let me see if I can find it. I've got Barbie doll clothes and all kind of stuff on Poshmark that I've made. See if I can get the link to come up at the top. Well, I thought it would show it, but it doesn't. Let me go into, let's see. Looking for somewhere I can find the link to go to. But it's Poshmark.com at Linda Hauser too. I think that's what it is. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know if that's it or not. I think it is. I think if you click on the orange, it'll take you to the Poshmark. Because the yellow is my YouTube and the orange where it says at Linda Hauser, it should take you there. I haven't been putting a whole lot up there since I've been doing YouTube. I've been putting most of my time on YouTube. But I made a custom made doll bed for one of the American dolls. A lady saw the smaller Barbie doll bed that I made that I have on Poshmark for sale. And she contacted me and wanted to know if I would make her a custom made bed for her granddaughter for her American doll. I said, well, get me the measurements, how tall the doll is, how big the doll is, and then I can get an idea of how big to make the bed. So I made her that bed and it was beautiful. I'm telling you, you can see it on Poshmark, but it's already sold, but you still see, they show the picture of it and show that it's sold, but it was a beautiful bed. She was tickled to death over it, but it was not sold for enough. It took a lot to make that. It was sold for $125, but Poshmark took 25 of that. So I only made $100. And it was a lot of time and effort since it was a custom bed. I didn't have a pattern for it. I don't have patterns for anything I do. I make my own. Well, I don't see Connie. I don't see Gladys. There's Vic Power. How are you? Vic Power and Sharon from Australia. I'm glad you could make it. Always interest strong. Well, I'm glad you're watching, Vic Power. I'm sorry I have to look down at the chat, not up at who I'm talking to. Yeah, I used to have 40 and 50 people in my live real quick. I do good to get 20 or 30 now. And he's still been bad mouthing me, but he did take the video down and edit it. He took out the center of it where he ran his mouth about me and some other people in it because he knew he shouldn't have done it. He was probably drinking when he did it. But hey, even though he took it down, there was about 3,700 people that saw that video already. So the damage was done. Well, they don't charge you really to sell. What they do is, like, if I sold that bed that I sold, what they charge me, shipping is included, so I don't pay shipping. But that doll bed sold for $125. Poshmark took $25 of it. And like something that sells for $15, they may take $4.50 of that. So I don't make the whole amount that I'm charging for something. But the shipping is not a lot either. Yeah, I know. We've been talking about it. Because when you start tearing someone down, you got to have proof. You got to have proof in front of people, to prove it all when you get a lawsuit put on you over it. And when something's not true, there's no proof, is there? You can't destroy somebody's reputation and their channel. I mean, it's not legal to do it, and they can get in trouble. And I think they've already got several strikes against them from YouTube as well. They probably get another strike and their channel's gonna be shut down. So they better watch what they're doing or they're gonna be in trouble. Husband and I. No worries, my husband. And that heart's in the way. I can't read everything. I tell you, when I started my YouTube channel years ago, somebody hacked my account to where I didn't even have access to my own channel. So I waited for years and then I started this next one. And somebody did try to hack it, but this time it didn't work. But now I got these other YouTube families to deal with. And I said, this is crazy, you know? I'm just a little person. I'm not no big YouTuber. I'm not their competition. But for some reason, they think, well, yeah, I don't think they even think I'm their competition. It's just content for their video. It's someone they can bash that they think they can get away with it, get subscribers and views for their channel and create drama. That's all it was. But I don't go down without a fight. I know they're not. That's why it's ridiculous. I mean, there's so many big YouTubers out there that have been doing this for 10 and 15 years. They've got millions, not thousands, millions of subscribers. They've got millions upon millions of views. They're making 100, 200,000 a year off of YouTube. I'm nowhere near that. I don't think I'll ever get that big. I don't know that I ever want to. It'd be too much work. All I ever wanted to do was get on here and bring in a couple of $100 a month to help me pay my bills every month. I never dreamed I'd have somebody that I was going to have to fight all the way to do that. Yes, always something about a person that you have to be bad mouth. Hi, Teresa Foreman. How are you doing? I'm on here working on my granny squares for my bedspread. Well, the next bedspread, it's not going to be for my bed. I've already got one made for my bed. But a lot of people don't want these too because you either have to dry clean them or you have to hand wash them. I don't put these in the washing machine because it will ruin them. I mean, you may think it's silly, but the way I wash mine, because it doesn't really get dirty, but to freshen it up, I'll fill my bathtub up with water, clean water, and I'll put a little bit of fabric softener in it, and I'll rinse it out in the bathtub. And then I'll flip a clothes basket upside down and set it in the bottom of the bathtub. Get the stopper out of the tub, let the water drain out, and I kept messing with my quilt on my bedspread till I get it all kind of folded up on top of the inverted laundry basket. And it'll sit there and it gradually will drain every bit of the water out of the spread to where then you can take it out and then I throw it across my clothesline and I let it air dry outside. And then I put it back on my bed and it's just as fresh and clean as it can be. Yeah, I know. I was telling people that most people do make afghans and hats and scarves, and I've done that too. But I've got to the place where I've been making bedspreads with mine. I've got a granny square bedspread on my bed that's the background is burgundy. And I've been thinking about making the background of this one in turquoise. I don't know. I can do the turquoise that much. And then I can put 2 more rows of some other color on that square and make the background color a total different color. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I've been thinking about making the background color the turquoise. Get all the squares to this point and then join all the squares together. So the background will look turquoise. I did one in yellow. I did one for my son's bed similar to mine. I gave the yellow one to my granddaughter. She just was tickled to death over it. But then I started working so much that I just didn't have time to spend crocheting. And then my allergies bother me so much that I can only do a little bit of it at a time. So my allergies don't bother me. I mean, I'll be sick with allergies if I do too much crocheting. Just from breathing the lint and the fuzz that comes off of the yarn. See, I've sat here and I've got 2 sides done just running my mouth. I don't know if I'll get around to the other side of it, but yeah, we've got quite a few people in here. I got 25. It's not too bad for all the mess that's going on. I mean, hopefully I'll get more in time. I'll build back up my viewing people. Teresa says turquoise is my favorite color. Yeah, aquamarine blue. I call this turquoise. I'm not sure what the technical name of it is, but it's about as close to turquoise as you can get, I guess. Where's Gladys tonight, Connie? And I'm drinking hot chocolate, Connie. It's not coffee. Trying to stir the chocolate up. It all settled to the bottom. My daughter's mother-in-law said one time she'd love to have one just like the one I made for my bed. And I said, well, if I had enough money and enough time, I might consider making her one. But I think the yarn alone, just what yarn that I bought to make mine on my bed was over $100 just in the yarn. So, it's not cheap to make a yarn bedspread. Not if you make a full-size bedspread. And there's Shelly. Hi, Shelly. Yeah, I tried to figure it up one time, how much money I spent in yarn. And I know I spent over $100 just in the yarn bundles, just these yarns like this. Yeah, I was asking about Gladys. I haven't seen her in chat. Usually she's the first one in, whether I've planned it ahead of time or not. She's usually always in chat. If you like to knit and crochet, yarn is not cheap. No, it's not. That's the reason I said I don't know if I'll ever finish these. Because when I go to the store to buy more yarn, I don't know if I can afford to buy it. I may not be able to get enough turquoise to do all of my squares. I've still got all of these squares in these bags to do back here. These are two different stages. These are the smaller ones. I did a whole bag at a time. And then I went and bordered them with yellow and brown, getting them ready to put the turquoise on them. So yeah, I don't know. And all of these have got to be bordered with another color, I think, before I can put the turquoise on the outside. These are ready because they're bordered with the brown. I think I've got to buy brown and I've got to get more turquoise. And I know I'll need more yellow because I don't have enough yellow to do all of these. This is all for, I forgot how many squares I've got. But I know on my queen size bed, it took seven rows by 7 rows to make the whole spread. And then as you go smaller, you take a row or 2 off, to make it more narrow. Because usually the beds are the same length pretty much. They're just not as wide. And I don't remember how many I've got here. I think I've got enough for one spread, one like queen size. But like I said, depending on how much it costs to get the yarn and if I can get the right colors, I may not make a queen size one. It may be a full size one or a twin size. I don't know. But anyway, that was my plan. And I started making these probably 20 years ago. I did a lot of it when I was going through my cancer scare because I had a lot of time on my hands. Because, my immune system was gone. I couldn't work. So I started these. And then when I went back to work, I didn't have time. So I just put them away packed them away in a tote. And every once in a while, I'll get them out and I'll do a little more on them. Yeah, there's so many different weights. But this is like the medium weight. I don't have the label. But some of it is real thick and heavy. Some of it's real thin. But this is like the average size that most people buy to just do regular crocheting with or knitting. You'll find more of this size on the counter at Walmart than any other size. So if that tells you anything. I'm good mentally, just dealing with a lot of health issues, bone cancer, things that I'm having a hard time when it comes to continuing the work I do. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Connie. I know you and Gladys deal with a lot of health problems. And I wish Gladys could have showed up tonight. I don't know where she is. Usually she gets notified, that I'm live. But she may be asleep. She may be napping. She may not feel like going live. Okay, you just texted Gladys, Connie. That's good. Maybe she'll come on. J. Mary Stonewall, if you got to go, have a good night. I'm glad you could stop by. Yeah, that's what I figured, Connie, because I know she didn't feel good last night. So I said she may not be doing good today either. How was your Christmas, Teresa? Your Christmas and your New Year's? You'd think for the new year I would do something with my hair. I just don't know what to do with it. I've gotten spoiled doing just like what it's doing now. It just balled up on top of my head. And I know if I cut it, I can't do that. I knew I'd start coughing from this yarn. Oh, well, that's nice, Teresa. Your kids and your grandkids came to visit. That's always a lot of fun during the holidays. I know those two little boys, my new little grandsons, as they call it, great grandsons. Um, they had a good time New Year's Eve for their Christmas that I was over there at my son's house. I think they're what, like 6 and 8. So they're just the right size to have a good time for Christmas. Yes, everybody needs to keep Gladys in their prayers, and Connie too. Oh, all of them have been sick, Teresa. That's sad. Bad time of the year to get sick is during the holidays. Oh my goodness. I went live on StreamYard this time, or through StreamYard, to hopefully have the picture clear, but I think it's just as clear now if I go straight through YouTube than it is to go through StreamYard. Don't y'all think so? Since they got my internet straightened out. Yeah, I know you talk to Gladys daily, Connie. And that's good. Yeah, it's not good for a little kid to be sick at Christmas time. Christmas time is when they should be able to be happy and enjoy themselves and feel good. There's Annie Watson. Hello. I got to get outside in the yard and start breaking up some leaves and stuff and getting them in that compost pile. If I don't get on the ball, I'm not going to have enough compost for my spring garden. And y'all notice I don't do a real tight stitch because I didn't want to do a tight stitch. I do a loose stitch. It makes the spread, I think, softer. Makes it look more like a bedspread than that you would if it was a real tight knit. The real tight stitches are hard. That's what is so hard on your hands, is trying to hold the yarn so tight. So I don't do that. I hold mine kind of loose. My mom crocheted a bedspread one time, and it was out of that little bitty tiny white, no, tan string yarn almost, that little tiny stuff. She did a whole bedspread for her bed with that. It was beautiful. But I said, no way could I do that with that little bitty thread. The kind they make little doilies and things out of years ago. That's what she made her bedspread out of. Like I said, it was beautiful. But there's no way I could do that. Now that stuff that little and as tight as you got to make it, oh, my hands would cramp up all the time. You can tell I'm not a pro at this, and I'm doing it left-handed. So I don't do it as well as some of these professional right-handed people do it, for sure. Hi, Annie. How are you doing? Your oldest son didn't get to come at Teresa because he was sick with the flu, but all your other kids and daughter in-laws were there. Well, that's good. At least some of them got to be there. Maybe Gladys will be feeling better by tomorrow when I go live tomorrow afternoon for our Sunday afternoon chat. It was gorgeous, Connie. But oh my God, she was so good at it and fast. I can't do it that fast, and I can't do it with that little bitty thread. That little bitty thread keeps jumping off of my needle. That little tiny needle that she used. Oh my gosh. And like I said, you got to keep it pulled real tight for the stitches to look right. And I couldn't do it. And there's Loretta. Hello. I haven't seen you in my chat in a long time. Welcome. How have you been doing? I know I see all the time where you post pictures that you have drawn on Facebook, and they're beautiful. You're a fantastic artist. Well, thank you. Something I haven't done in a while. They've been packed away. Yeah, I saw that you said hi. I said hi, Annie. Or I thought I did. Did I not say hi to Annie? I thought sure I did a while ago. Wow, how awesome, Teresa. Sorry that she passed away, though. Well, if you any of you have not seen Loretta's artwork, oh my God, her artwork is amazing. I wish I could draw like that, but I can't. I try, but I'm not that good. I never will be. So, wonder what happened to all of her stuffed animals and blankets and things that she did. She crocheted when she passed away. Only 47 years old. Oh my gosh. Hi, Annie. I see that. Hi, Linda again. I only saw about 3 or 4 of them so far. She's been posting on Facebook. I've been seeing almost every day she posts another picture or two. She's got beautiful artwork. She gave them away as gifts. Yeah. A lot of people that do a lot of that stuff do give them away as gifts. I've never tried to crochet a baby blanket, and I thought about doing it one time and giving it as at a baby shower. But I said, oh my God, I don't know the pattern to do one. I've never tried to make a baby blanket, and I just didn't even attempt it. I said, I can do my granny square ones, and that's about it. And I guess you could make a miniature granny square baby blanket, I guess, but I've never seen one. There, I got one one row around the whole square. It only took me what, an hour and a half to do it. Well, I've been talking, so. Your mom, those thread ones are hard because you got to keep the thread pull real tight. So each stitch that you put into it is real kept tight for the pattern to look good. And I couldn't do that. It hurt my hands. Well, yeah, I know, but when you make a granny square, see, it doesn't actually come out square like it. It kind of. I thought about doing it, and I said you could even make little squares and put them together and make a blanket. I guess just do it in colors for a baby. Make little squares, and put them together. And make it out of smaller yarn, or you could make it out of this kind of yarn, I guess, this size. But see, that's all the turquoise I got left is in that little ball right there. So I'll only get a couple more of these squares done and I'll be out of turquoise. So I'll have to buy more turquoise. And I know I got to have yellow, and I'm completely out of brown. That's why I stopped doing these, because I'm completely out of brown. And I usually cut a piece of yarn and I take it to the store with me to match up the yarn I need, because I never think to keep the labels, to keep the number of the color. So I just cut a piece of the yarn and take it to the store and match it up to whatever I buy. That's the simplest way for me to do it. Yeah, with a single crochet hook. And see, I use kind of big crochet needles or hooks. I've got the smaller ones, but they drive me crazy because the yarn keeps falling off. And I said, they don't make the little hook big enough on them little ones. And see, I got one this size. It's even bigger. A drunken granny stitch and a sober granny stitch. I'm going to have to look that up. Now you got my interest. Yeah, I basically taught myself too. My mom showed me, tried to, but she was right handed. And she would get frustrated trying to show me what to do when I had to do it completely opposite from what she was showing me. So she showed me how to do the chain stitch and a few other things and then gave up. And what I know about it from since then is just what little bit that I've learned on my own. But if you can do a chain stitch, you can do a granny square. Because a double or triple is just a double granny chain stitch, and a triple is just a triple chain stitch. I mean, but that's about as complicated as I get with them. I mean, there's some of them I wish I knew how to do. And I thought about buying the instructions, but I can't make sense of these instructions. It's like reading Chinese. I have baby blankets made a yellow and a gray one. If anyone wants one, let me know. Well, I don't need baby blankets anymore. The popcorn stitch makes a lovely blanket. My grandmother. Yeah, I haven't learned how to make the popcorn stitch yet. Like I said, started learning from my mom. She showed me. I got the chain stitch. I got the double and triple crochet, and that's about it. And I've actually crocheted myself knitted hats to wear in the wintertime, and they turned out really nice. I love to wear them, and people love them when they see them. I made them in solid colors, and I made them and gave them away, but I didn't have a pattern that I went by. I just kind of put them together the way I figured they should go, and they turned out okay. Look me up on YouTube, the people that does tutorials how to crochet. Yeah, like I said, I don't really have a lot of time to do this kind of stuff anymore, especially now. I did have time, but then I got busy with my YouTube channel. Hi, Kathy 2010. How are you doing this evening? I've gotten busy with my YouTube channel, and I don't take a lot of time to do this sort of thing anymore. And I think part of my coughing was, like I said, something I was taking. I was having an allergic reaction to it, and it was giving me a really bad cough. It was irritating my lungs really bad because I quit taking it a couple of days ago, and I feel 100% better. Well, good, Kathy. Yeah, I'm a lot better now since I quit taking that stuff that I was taking, that medicine. There's a lot of things I can't take. Like, I can't take codeine. Oh my God, if I take codeine, it will make me sicker than a dog. I am plastered to the bed if I take codeine. The doctor gave me some one time with something, and instead of getting better, I was getting worse. I couldn't even get out of bed. And come to find out, it was because the medicine had codeine in it. Can't take codeine. So you have to watch, just because it's medicine doesn't mean it's going to be good for you, especially if you have allergies. Because if you're allergic to a lot of stuff outside, breathing it and all that, chances are you're allergic to some foods, you're allergic to medicines, you're allergic to a lot of stuff. Well, you're doing better than me, Teresa. I can't make sense out of the instructions on how to do a pattern. Not in crocheting, because like I said, everything is backwards to me. Well, good, Kathy. I had a little bit of barbecue left, and I put it on a bun and ate some before I went live tonight. I just go through trial and error, and if it works out all right, if it doesn't, I just pull it out and start over. That's one thing about yarn, it's very forgiving. If you start making something and you don't like it, you can just pull it out and start over. I pieced together a couple of sweaters that I made, but it's usually too hot out here to wear them. You crocheted and made blankets and stuff, Kathy? Well, that's good. Yeah, I started these things years ago because I thought it would be a novelty to make my granddaughter a bedspread out of it and then make my son one for his bed. Oh, really, Loretta? There's instructions for left-handed people. I have to look. I have to look it up. Yeah, my mom could crochet all those fancy stitches and stuff that's in patterns. That's why when she made that bedspread out of that little bitty string yarn, it was so pretty. It was beautiful. I mean, she did patterns of flowers and all kind of stuff in that bedspread. It was awesome. There's no way I would have ever been able to do that. I don't know who taught her. I never saw my grandmother do it. You know, her mom. I never seen her crochet. I never saw any of my aunts crocheting. So I don't know. My mom may have taught herself. I don't know. But she could get the patterns and read the different stitches and stuff and know what to do. And I was just totally lost. You know, my mom used to crochet baby blankets and give them to people. She'd make little baby sweaters and little baby hats and booties and give them to them. She'd make the crochet doilies and give them away. I've got a few of them, not many. And I've got a crocheted collar that you put on just a plain blouse to dress it up that my mom crocheted. I've got it packed away in the drawer. And I've got a blouse that I literally took the small thread and crocheted a collar around it. The collar is about, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches wide that goes around. And it really dresses up the blouse that I wore. You know, it's one of the pullover knitted blouses. And I crocheted the collar around the neck. It's really pretty. And I've got a lot of tank tops or tube tops and things that I crocheted sleeves into. I've crocheted around the necks of them. Really dresses them up. I believe it, Teresa. It takes a long time. It takes a lot of crocheting to make a queen size bedspread. Because it took me a long time to do my queen size bedspread. And it took me even longer to do my son's that was a king size bed. Ponchos. Chevron pattern is easy to learn. I don't even know what that is. See, I'm lost when you start talking crocheting language. I don't even know what the stitches are called. Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of people wearing ponchos that they were crocheted, that people had crocheted for them. I mean, why not? Why buy them if you could make them? Yeah, that zigzag pattern was really pretty, but I never knew how to do it. I never figured that one out. I never did crochet a poncho, but I crocheted a scarf that was about this wide and long enough that I could wrap it around me. And it was as warm as wearing a sweater or a poncho because, it covered my arms and everything when I put it around me. I mean, I still have it. I still got my hats that I crochet too. If you saw any of my videos on my gardening where I was out when it was cold and I either had a red crocheted hat on or a green crocheted hat on, those are two that I made. If you had a chance to see those, because those are some of the older videos. Wow, I bet it's pretty, Connie. Awesomeness. Yeah, I got so many comments on my red hat and my green hat that I crocheted. They were just solid colors, a solid red or a solid green, but they turned out really pretty. And one year I crocheted my son-in-law uh, a scarf and a hat, and he put it on and he says, "Oh my God," he said, "it fits. Usually they're not big enough for my head. They feel like they're tight. They're squeezing my head." But he said, "This one's plenty big. I love it." Wish I could look up at the camera and be able to read the chat, but I can't. I have to look down here. I also have all the Afghans that Grandma and I made and granny square vest. I wore them over solid color buttoned up blouses. No, Kathy, Gladys is not here tonight. She's not feeling good. She was not feeling good here. What was it, last night when I was live? And she's not feeling good tonight either because that's what she told Connie. Yeah, I figured that she didn't feel good. That's why she wasn't here. Yeah, she seems to be in a lot of pain. There's Gladys. You just woke up, Gladys. I hope you're feeling better. Teresa says, I need to get mine out and work on it. I have about 121 foot squares made. I could make a few more and crochet them together for another Afghan. Yeah, you could. When I get my squares big enough, if I put 7 in a row each way, I've got enough to make my whole blanket. It takes 49 squares to make a queen size bedspread. But these are like 16-inch squares. You know, they're not little tiny squares. I think this one is almost big enough. If I put maybe a couple of more rows of turquoise around it, it would be big enough. Because I think the squares measured 16 inches across. And this one looks like it might be about 12. I don't know. I haven't measured it. But I do know it took 49 to make my queen size bedspread of 16-inch squares. And it covers the whole side of the bed, goes all the way almost to the floor. Because I didn't want one that just covered the top and maybe hung that far over, you know. I wanted something that actually covered the end and the side. So it takes 49 16-inch squares to do it. Linda's inspired me. Well, we're glad you could make it, Gladys. I was worried about you. I don't know. I've had these hooks so many years. This is a 1 or I. This one that I've been using on this square is a, oh, they're not in numbers, it's letters. This is a G. And this is an I. And the I is bigger than the G. I've got smaller ones and I've got bigger ones. But these are the ones that I chose to do these squares with. Mostly I'm using the G. That's what I've been crocheting these squares with. This one was just in here. But I check myself every once in a while and I say, well, if I put my square down and my colors match up, I'm doing it the right width. I mean, the right tension on the yarn. I'm not pulling it too tight. But I might seem like a old fuddy-duddy. I might seem like an old boring person, but I'm really not. You can tell by the things I make. I like the bright colors. I like the cheerful colors, the happy colors. That's the kind of person I am. I like happy stuff. I don't like doom and gloom, even though I come over like I'm doom and gloom sometimes. There's April. Hello. I'm going to crochet a baby blanket. This is perfect, Linda. Yeah, I might try making a baby blanket out of some little squares. Maybe making, like I said, smaller squares. Instead of making one this size, making 4 that would equal this size. You know, 4 if you put them together that would come up to that size, or even smaller. I've just never tried making a baby blanket. I've always gotten into bigger stuff. Hawaii is in the house, y'all. Oh my gosh, and there's Paws in the garden. Hello, Paws in the garden. Welcome to our chat tonight. I'm lucky was her hyperactive child, and my grandma said, if you can sit still, I will teach you. Well, like I said, Gladys, I don't know how to do this. I'm left-handed, and my mom tried to teach me because she was a whiz at crocheting anything with any type of yarn or thread, you name it, she could make it. She was right-handed, I'm left-handed. She got frustrated trying to teach me how. But I did learn how to do the chain stitch, the double and the single and the triple crochets, and that's about it. And I said, all you need to know is a chain stitch and your triple and double crochets to be able to make a granny square. The easiest thing in the world. But you can fix them up to make them look difficult. I mean, you can make them look like they're really hard to make. They're not. Yeah, April is always busy. She's always listening. I mean, I think the stitches you use to make a granny square are probably the easiest to do when it comes to crocheting anything. It just looks complicated. Love you too, April. Yeah, everybody give April a hug. Send April a hug. And send Gladys a hug. Yeah, I took a black um, shell, a knit shell, and I took some black and the yarn that has like the glitter into it, and I crocheted sleeves on that shell to make it a long sleeve pullover blouse, and I crocheted the neck around it. And it turned out to be really pretty. I loved wearing it. Now it's got so tight on me that probably can't wear it anymore. And everybody that saw my blouses that I did that way, where did you get that blouse? I've not seen any like that in the stores. I said, that's because they're not in the stores. I said, I just buy a cheap, simple shell of a blouse, and then I crochet the neckline and I crochet sleeves in it. Let me see if I can go find one of them. This is one that I did. It was just a simple cotton knit shell, kind of thick shell. And then I crocheted the sleeves. I crocheted sleeves in the neckline to make it look like it was a long sleeve blouse. And I did quite a few of them this way. Like I said, I did a black one that had the black and the silver glitter in the yarn that I put in the sleeves and the neckline of a solid black shell. And it turned out really pretty. I did a white one that way too that had the glitter, the silver threads in the sleeves that I crocheted and the neckline. But it's a way that you can really fancy up a simple $3 shell, you know, or today they're probably $7 or $8. You couldn't get one for that amount, but I get creative and I just like to do stuff that way. I didn't have a pattern. There was no pattern for it. Nobody showed me how to do this. I just went through trial and error and I came up with that. It looked pretty and I love to wear it. So, but I know my mom always loved to sew. She could take anything apart, make anything out of it. She was amazing. And I got that from her. So I know somewhere back in our ancestry, we had designers from Italy. We had designers, had to be in our family for us to be able to do this kind of stuff without patterns, without someone telling you how to do it. I mean, I just figured out how to get it all on the neckline and be able to crochet it so it would fit right. And I made an expensive top out of it, I think. I mean, people always thought I spent a fortune on my clothes, and I never did. Because, like I said, that little old shell, it probably didn't cost me but $5 or $6 when I bought it. And then I decided to do this with it to make it even more expensive, you know. Oh, you're a garment maker too, April. Good. The same way I attach the neckline, Kathy. I literally took yarn and I didn't make the sleeves and then attach them. I actually crocheted the sleeves on the blouse. I went around the edge of the sleeve with yarn and a needle and I whip stitched it all the way around so I would have something to attach my crocheting, like my chain stitch to. And then I just started crocheting right onto the sleeve or the opening. And I made my sleeve as long as I wanted it. And I tapered it down, you know, at the wrist to where it was smaller. And most of the time well, not on this, I don't. On some of them I do. I was going to say I turn the wrist cuff back, but on this one I don't. Where there's a will, there's a way, y'all. I'm dropping stuff in the floor. Good thing my floor is clean. I did a white one, a white shell with the white and silver glitter thread around the neck and the sleeves. It's really pretty. And the black one, I think I did 3. The black one, a white one. No, I guess I only did 2 with the silver threads in it. because it had the whiteness. I know y'all have seen it where the thread is mixed with the glitter thread that's in it. But there y'all go. That's something else you can do. Crocheting. And see, I didn't have a pattern to do that. It was just something I come up with. I invented. I went through trial and error. If it looked good, I left it. If it didn't, I pulled it out and started over. And I think it turned out pretty good. Okay, there's big-eyed needles. They're actually sewing needles. Well, but they've got a rounded point that don't have a real sharp point that you can thread the yarn through the eye of that needle. And then since this shell is a knit, the needle goes right through it. It doesn't break the thread. It goes through the knitted weave because the needle that I have is rounded at the point. So it goes right through without breaking the threads of the the shirt or the shell. So you're able to do that. Trying to give you a close up of it. But you can see there is all the little stitches that I did around the edge. And then I came through and whip stitched to put and crocheted this on it. I mean, I didn't crochet this and then put it on. I put my threads around the edge of my neckline and then I actually crocheted this on here. And I've got like 2 rows of double crochets around it. And I kept going until I had my neckline the way I wanted it. I didn't want it too high and I didn't want it too low. But anyway, that might help some of you ladies that do crocheting come up with another thing to do crocheting other than blankets and hats and baby blankets. Learned how to feed animals and make ice cream and do arts and crafts. So I learned to sit still. Spam sandwiches are good with eggs. You know, I love spam sandwiches and I love eggs, but I've never put it together, even though I put ham and eggs together. I'm just never have tried it with spam, but I know it would be good because I love both of them. And I love spam to make stir fry rice with too. It's so good. Connie, no eggs right now. My son was going to give me some eggs over at his house New Year's Eve, and I came right out and didn't get eggs. I got home and he messaged me. He said, "Mom, you didn't get your eggs." I said, "I know. I didn't see any and I didn't think about it." I joked with him. I said, "Well, you'll just have to bring them to me." Oh, man. See, we learn things every day, ladies and gentlemen, if we've got gentlemen in here tonight. Well, I've been alone for, oh my God, since 1983 is when I think my divorce was. So I've been alone a long time on my own, having to raise my kids. And then after they were grown and moved out and got married, then I've been here by myself. And it's not been easy, but hey, you can do it. Yeah. I say I'm a professional single person, Teresa. I don't remember the month that we were divorced, but it was in 83. You met your husband in 1983. No, I can't do anything, Gladys. There's a lot I can't do. I'm needing to finish my wood floor, and I keep putting it off because I know what a job it's going to be. But especially with my back and neck injuries. Sometimes I can't do a lot of that stuff, but I try. Gladys, I can't send them, but I will look at your local grocery and see about them. Yeah, there is a lot of people that used to come to my lives and watch my videos that don't come anymore. You married in 84. Our daughter-in-law is taking us on a cruise on our 40th anniversary in April. How neat. Where are you going to a cruise? Where is the cruise going to be? Yeah, I know, Gladys. I've still got a lot of you left. You loyal people, your loyal fans, your loyal subscribers, your loyal YouTube family members. But all of them have not been as loyal as you have been. Belize, Cozumel, Costa Rica. Oh, wow. So you're going to be coming to the coast close to Texas, really. My brother and his wife went to Cozumel several times from North Carolina on a cruise, and they said it was really neat. We are the pretty ones. It embarks from Galveston, Texas. Yeah, they got on it somewhere in North Carolina, and they just cruised up the coastline and ended up in Cozumel. And they got out and were able to walk around and sightsee and stuff like that. See, I kept plenty to drink here close by. And Teresa lives about an hour west of Granbury. Well, I'm glad you enjoy my videos, April. I'm so blessed to have loyal subscribers like you ladies are. And some of the gentlemen that have been sticking with me, they haven't left. We were friends and became boy and girlfriend in 1981. Been married 34 years in June. We have a 31-year-old daughter and our 25-year-old son who lives with us. Well, how awesome, Connie. Gladys says, I'll never leave you no matter what. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Gladys. We are the pretty ones. Yes, ma'am, we are, April. Your son is still in rehab in Michigan. Well, hopefully he'll be doing good. He'll be all right. Thank you, Gladys. Yeah, I think it is too. It's a beautiful chat we have, family chat. Yep, I do too, Connie. I pray that everybody can get along. I mean, there's no need in all of this drama, you know? It's just ridiculous. Oh, your other son is going to have their baby in January 12th. Oh, wow. That's pretty soon. 6 more days. Is it going to be a boy or girl? You probably know already. A boy. Well, congratulations again, April. Are we having fun yet? I know what you meant, April, but reading that comment where you said your son, my other son is having their baby in the 12th, it's like, that's going to be a trick. But I know what you meant. But the statement just sounds a little off, you know, where you said my other son is having their baby January 12th. I got to pick on you about that one. Okay, do that, April. Well, I'm glad you came in to chat, Kathy Phillips. Welcome. And I'm glad that you watch my videos, whether you ever come into live chat or not. But I like it even better when people come into chat and we get to know one another a little bit. But everybody tell Kathy Phillips hello. Glad to have you. I'm going out to throw a ball to my dog. I'm going to take you with me. Okay. Oh, wow. That sounds good, Loretta. Fish and chips for dinner. Oh, I'd love to have some fish and chips. Yeah, I quit taking that medicine and it's wearing off. So I'm not coughing as much. It was that medicine that was giving me such a bad cough. And hopefully I'll get better. I'm already a lot better than I was because my chest don't hurt like it did. It was starting to feel really weird down in there. I went out in the garden and picked the rest of my what few tomatoes and peppers I had out there because we're supposed to freeze again tonight. And I've already saw some little bit of a damage of freezing on my tomatoes. So I said, well, I wanted to pick the ones that are pickable. I said that way they'll have half a chance to ripen up in this pan instead of them just freezing to death. Because once they freeze, they won't ripen up. The peppers won't either. So far, it's not quite got cold enough to hurt them too much. But I felt like I was pushing my luck, so I went ahead and picked them this evening. Paul's in the garden says, I see fried green tomatoes, maybe. I never had tried fried green tomatoes before, but one year I picked a whole bunch of green tomatoes at the end of the summer before we had a really hard freeze. And that was the first year that I ever tried fried green tomatoes, and they were pretty good. I make chow chow with the green tomatoes, Kathy. And it's like a tomato pickle relish. I made some of it this year because I didn't have any pepper. I mean, I had peppers and a few green tomatoes, and I made a pepper relish with it. And last year I had a lot of green tomatoes, so I chopped them up and made a pickle relish with my green tomatoes. And it was pretty good. I'm hoping I have a better garden this summer. Good for your tummy. What's everybody's plans for tomorrow on Sunday, other than coming to my live again tomorrow afternoon at 3? Yeah, I've made pickled green tomatoes. I've made pickled squash, pickled zucchini. I've made pickled everything, I think. Yeah, I didn't have enough to make salsa verde or anything like that this year. Maybe next year I will. You miss your garden and flowers. You need to live somewhere warmer. Oh, I see. They're gonna check your heart out further, Annie. Well, hopefully the blood thinners will get rid of those clots. I love banana peppers too. Make a cake. Oh my goodness. I don't know what kind of cake I'd make. Yeah, my garden didn't do either, Teresa. It was too hot and dry. And then with our water restrictions, I couldn't water anything enough. So mine was really bad this past summer. Chocolate, chocolate. Y'all wanting a chocolate cake? I don't know if I got all the fixings for a chocolate cake. And what am I going to do with the whole chocolate cake when I make it? I hope y'all have been hitting the thumbs up. I can't tell how many thumbs up we've got. I don't think I've got lemon for lemon pound cake. I don't know. I might come up with something tomorrow. We'll see. check my cupboards and see what I got. Vic Power says lemon cake sounds real lovely. Vic Power likes apple and cinnamon cake. I do too. I like any of them. Although chocolate is my favorite. I'm just partial to chocolate, anything. Great minds think alike, Linda. Yeah, that they do. Make a nice big pound cake. Oh wow, red velvet with cream cheese icing. I bet it was something. I bet it was good too, Teresa. Cream cheese on celery. I could put cream cheese on anything. The rosettes were cream cheese. Well, I've seen people eat peanut butter on celery before, and I kind of thought that looked kind of gross, but I guess if you like celery and you like peanut butter, it should be good. I've never tried it. Your diet don't allow red velvet cake. I like to make a tuna fish salad and eat it with celery. Just stuff the celery stalk with tuna fish salad and then eat it like that. It's pretty good. Ants on a log. Where did that come from? Paws in the garden. Ants on a log. Although in some parts of the country people do eat ants from a log or on a log. Celery, peanut butter, and raisins. That's a weird combination, but probably good. That ant can move that rubber tree plant. I don't know how the ants got in the conversation, but they're there. We call that ants on a log. It's good. I heard of celery with peanut butter and raisins being called ants on a log. Oh, okay, that's where that came from. Ants on a log. Take your stalk of celery, slap some peanut butter on there, and throw on some raisins, and you got ants on a log. I understand now. I was lost there for a minute. Okay, Kathy, have a good night. Hope you can make the 3 o'clock live tomorrow afternoon. Ants on a log. See, it doesn't matter how old you get, you always can learn something every day. I learn something new about something or someone every single day of my life. Teresa, we have that for Thanksgiving every year. Yes, I got that pause. Well, I'm going to have to try that the next time I buy some celery. I'm out of celery right now. I'll have to try ants on a log. Where's Susie tonight? We're missing Susie. Maybe she didn't get the notification that we were live. I just sent Susie a message saying, Susie, where are you? I've been live for over 2 hours and you're not here. Yeah, it does sound strange when you don't know what they're talking about. Ants on a log, you would know what that was. I just sent her a message, but she may be asleep already. It is 8:55, so that means it's almost 10 o'clock where she's at. She's Eastern time. So she's an hour ahead of us. She probably went to sleep before she got the notification that we were live. That's what we should call to Susie. We do each other. Car 54, where are you? Yeah, car 54, where are you? Yeah, people used to think that I spent, well, they probably still do when I get dressed up. They think I spent a fortune on my clothes, but I never did. I'm a tightwad. I'm tight with my money. I don't spend my money like some people do. But some of the fashions that I came up with that I've, maybe not made the blouse itself, but I've added to it, like I did the sleeves and the neckline to this uh, tunic top, made it look expensive. Gladys says, Linda Hauser, that's my line. To Connie Car 54, where are you? I'll never eat bugs. Well, you know what, Vic Power? For years and years, I've said I was not going to do something. And for some reason, somehow it always worked out. So whatever I said I was not going to do, I ended up having to do. So now I don't say I'm not going to. So I'm not going to say I'll never eat bugs because I'll know if I do say that, just as sure as I'm sitting here a year from now, for some reason, I'm going to have to eat a freaking bug. Just because I said it. So I watch when I say I'm not going to do something. Kathy says, Linda, I'm hungry. I need a snack. I need one of your biscuit toast. Yeah, I love my biscuit toast. It's real good, I think. And sometimes, people don't ever think to do some of the simplest things with your food, like slicing your biscuits open and putting a little butter on them and putting in your broiler or put them in your little toaster oven and toast them. Makes them good, especially when you put some grape jam or some uh, watermelon rind jam or something on them. They're really good. Well, I already put butter on it. Well, I tell you what, if you ever have some leftover biscuits, just cut them in half, put you a little bit of butter on them like you would any toast, and put them in there and toast them. I guarantee you'll like it. Anytime I have leftover biscuits, I end up with biscuit toast because I love it. Vic Power says, I will never submit to bugs with Vegemite or jam. Butter is like bacon. It makes everything better. You're right, Vic Power. Butter is like bacon. It makes everything better. Biscuit toast with country gravy. Oh my, yes. But I've done lots of videos on biscuits and gravy. Biscuits with sausage gravy. Oh, I love it. Susan made it. Hey, I kept saying, where's Susan? Susan's not here. And I felt bad. I should have messaged you earlier. For some reason, you didn't get the notification that I went live. And I only planned it about an hour before I decided to go live. So if you got a notification, it was an hour before I did it. It was weird. Metco media. Me too. Mix sour cream, 16 ounces, one package of Lipton onion soup mix, dip celery, cucumber slices, cauliflower, and carrots in it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Sour cream with the onion soup, the dry package of onion soup makes a good dip. Well, I've never had bacon jam or bacon chutney, so but hey, I can fry a piece of bacon and throw it on a biscuit, and it's real good. No, and I saw you were on, but when I went to reload it because I looked like it was over, so I thought I missed it. No, you didn't miss it. We're here. I started out with granny squares and then went to blouses, crocheting sleeves on blouses, and now we're just cutting up. We need somebody to chaperone us. You'll have to rewatch it, Susan, because I've been on for 2 hours. I just got lonesome and I was sitting down and I said, I'm going live. I want to chat with my ladies and my guys. So I scheduled it for about an hour later and went live. Okay, Loretta, you rest and hopefully you can stop by tomorrow afternoon about 3 o'clock Central Time because I go live again tomorrow afternoon for our Sunday chat. Yeah, it does, Susan. It'll have the chat on it, but you got to wait for several hours for the chat to process before it shows on the rerun. So my advice is to wait. Don't try to watch to rewatch it right after I end the live because the chat won't be up. It takes YouTube several hours to process the live chat. And then when they get finished processing it, it'll be on the live. And you can watch the chat and the video at that time. Yeah, it was at 6:30. But 6:30 my time is 7:30 your time. And we've been on for over 2 hours. I've been live since 6:30 Central Time. That is noon our time. Well, might not be ready for me to watch then. Yeah, anytime you go to a live and you try to watch the replay of it, you have to wait for sometimes it's all day for them to process the chat before the chat will show up. So if you go there and you start watching it and the chat doesn't appear, just close it out and wait a while. Because sooner or later they'll get done processing it and the chat will show up. And then you can see what everybody posted in comments. Oh no, April says I have a major cesspool operation going on this Monday. Tomorrow 6:30. No, tomorrow is 3 o'clock. Sunday afternoon is always 3 p.m. Central. And if I didn't mess up, that's when it is. I've got several lives set. But tomorrow it's 3 p.m. I always go live at 3 p.m. on Sundays, but that's Central Time. I'm checking in here to make sure that I didn't mess it up. Yeah, tomorrow it's set for 3 p.m. And I've already got the one set for Thursday, and that's at 7. Choose from. Find your comfy and whoa, whoa, whoa. Didn't mean to turn that on. Put that down before I start playing it over and it'll start echoing. Gosh, you're a hoot. You remind me of my mom. I know Gladys is a hoot. No, well, no, this is a shirt that I've had for a while. The one I've got on. It's a little bit too big. I wasn't sure of what size to order because I didn't know how the sizes ran. And I got a large and I should have got a medium because it's a little big. Have to throw it in the hot dryer and watch it shrink. Only then it might shrink too much and then I can't wear it. Yeah, it's early for April. What is it, about 4 in the afternoon for April? Susan says I love too big. Yeah, I'd rather sometimes have it a little big than too small. I hate that 3 times because I forget that I am always late. Well, not always, Susan. And this was something that was almost a spur of the moment live, so I only planned it an hour in advance. 5 o'clock, yeah. Right at dinner time for April. I like surfer boys. I figured it was daylight for April since she was going out to throw the ball for the dog. What? Gladys. Linda, we all need to see some H strings. You talking about G strings? Oh, you're terrible, Gladys. I like cowboys. April says I like all men. Waiting for my new man to find me. 2 X-men's and 3 X-women. That's a pretty big size. Ooh. He has to love your dog, April. Well, that would be a requirement, huh? I'm fat too, Susan. Biggest I've ever been in my life, and I don't really like it. Purple, pink, and anything. That's me. I kind of like most colors as long as they're nice colors and not, depends on what it is I'm wearing, I guess. I'm coming down. Well, that's good. I like blonde guys with blue eyes, but I married a mixed guy with beautiful skin and heart. Well, that was good. You know, I was listening to this guy on TikTok today, and he was telling all these women that if you find a man that wants you and loves you, you need to keep him. Because he said that you could learn to love that man. But if that man don't love you, you're not going to keep him. You're not going to get him. Just well forget him. But he said, if you come across this guy that loves you and wants to be with you, you need to keep that man because you can always learn to love him, and you'll thank yourself a million times over that you kept that man. Because a man ain't going to be kept unless he wants to be kept. And he's telling the truth. It don't matter what you look like. It don't matter what kind of person you are. It don't matter what you do or what you don't do. If that man don't want you and he don't love you, forget him, because you ain't gonna get him. But if that man comes along and he loves you, girls, y'all need to hold on to him, because you may not get another one. Because if a man loves you, he'll do anything in the world for his woman. Okay, Susan, I will make sure the sleeves are not tight, honey. Thank you. Sounds like Susan's gonna get some new clothes, new blouses. Get rid of him. Yeah, if he don't love you, don't try to hold on to him, because he ain't staying. Just well say goodbye and go on to someone else. Because it don't matter how much you think of him, how much you love him. If he don't love you, he's not staying. You got to find that man that wants you and loves you. And once you do, he ain't going nowhere. And see, there, Annie. Annie found her guy that loves her. And that's true. You know, I've seen these women that act like real bees, you know. You know what I'm talking about? They are so mean to their men, it's ridiculous. I don't see why the man stays with them. But it's because he loves her. And it just shows you, if the man loves you, it don't matter how you treat him. It don't matter whether you do anything for him or not. He ain't going nowhere if he loves you. He's going to be right there. He'll take the abuse because he loves you. But if you love him, you can do anything you want to for him. You could be the best woman in the world for him. But if he don't love you, he ain't staying. He's gone. I've learned that a long time ago. So it did my heart good to hear that guy on TikTok saying that. Because you see all these women just beat themselves up. Well, I love him. I love him. Well, it don't matter if you love him. If he don't love you, he ain't going to be with you. So get that through your head. Move on. Find somebody that loves you. April, my man is man of color. He was good to me for 34 years before he passed away. Yeah, see? It's because he loved you, Gladys. Yeah, Annie, that's right. If they love you, they're not going nowhere. They're going to be right there. I look up at this camera every once in a while because I'm afraid it's moved somewhere. I wish I was looking down at it down here, but I don't have anything short enough to put it where I need it to go right now. And men go through phases, you know. They go through periods of time when they think they've got to have the Miss America type female to be with, like the trophy on their arm. You know, they go through stages just like women do. They got to go through all that and realize they need the one they love, not the one that looks good, not the one that has the fancy car. Yeah, I dated a guy years and years ago that I thought the world of, but that man was just not a keeper. He was not going to be kept. He was around for the good times and then he was gone. Move on to the next one. How many thumbs up does it show that I have right now? Can anybody tell? I still show that I've only got one. Mine's not updated. 26. Well, that's not too bad. Since there's only 29 watching right now. Could be better. Yeah, I got little buddy. He's a sweetheart. I don't think he's going anywhere. I lost my husband to leukemia in 84. My kiddo's dad, love of my life. Took me 30 years to give another man a chance. Yeah, it's hard. My first husband, I guess, was the love of my life. I mean, my second husband was a good man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved him too. April says she's still babysitting a dog, making dog dinners. We've been together for 17 years. That's a pretty good while. I tell you, if you marry someone this day and time and you stay married 10 years, you're doing good. I'm sorry, April. Wish I could change things for you. Be nice if we could bring him back, but we can't do that. 40 years is a long time to be married. Your wrist hurts tonight, Susie? Yeah, it's probably the weather has a lot to do with it. Took me years to stop crying. I can imagine. I mean, I know my brother had a hard Christmas this year because his wife died last Christmas Eve a year ago. So every Christmas is going to be a reminder that she passed away on Christmas Eve. And it was a shock. It was not expected. And I know that felt like something ripped him apart. 13 years younger. And that's about the age that that guy was that I dated years ago that I was so crazy about. But he was one of these people. He was a pretty boy. He was a user and he seeked out women to use them for his own needs, like money, cars, whatever he could get at the time that he needed it. And I knew he wasn't a keeper. He wasn't going to stay. So, I made that my mind up to that right from the get go. Snow in there, Connie. Ooh, it's only in the 40s tonight here. I think it's 40 degrees right now here at 9:30, almost 9:30. 3 years ago. Oh, that's awful. Awful, April. Sorry you lost your husband. That guy that I dated, what really years and years ago, we was about 13, 14 years younger than me. Because he didn't believe my age. I had to literally take my driver's license out and show it to him for him to believe how old I was, because he didn't believe I was that much older than him. And you would think since he was younger that he would have been there longer than you, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Doesn't work out that way sometimes, even if they're older than you. Oh, it's Sunday night through Tuesday morning, heavy winds. Wow. It's calm here right now. Been calm all day. On the little chilly side, but it hasn't been really cold, but it's been cool, which seems good. So you could get outside and do something without losing 10 pounds of sweat trying to do it. Well, I don't know about you ladies, but I'm getting tired. I can't quit yawning. What did your computer do, Susan? It's supposed to get into the teens for highs by the end of next week. Oh, wow. That's going to be pretty cold. I don't know what Connie keeps typing that she's got to retract her message every time. Teresa says she's falling asleep. I went weird screen size and then cut me off when I tried to fix it. Always, yeah, you'll always miss him. I mean, that's never going to go away, but it'll get better as time goes by. Well, I'm glad you like them, April. Connie, what to chat? The heart's in the way. I can't read the word. After this chat. Oh, okay. You like being alone? Well, I kind of do too. I've gotten used to being alone. I don't know if I can handle living with somebody at this point. Okay, Vic Power, you have a great night. And you ladies, we have been on here for an awfully long time. I didn't intend to take up this much of your time, but I'm glad each and every one of you came into my chat. My hands are cold and I have trouble sending part of the message. Typing wrong. Oh, that's okay, Connie. We understand. But y'all have a blessed night. Stay warm, stay dry, stay safe. And hopefully, I will see each and every one of you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time for our next live chat where we can get together and go crazy again. God bless everybody. Love y'all. Have a blessed night. Let me get up here so I can turn my camera off. Aloha.